प्राणैश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहिता प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ग्रंथ का मंगलाचरण करो। सर्वतंत्र स्वतंत्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शंकरार्याय वेदांत गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनां मुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं। मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेवयतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णसन्निहितो भवेत्। अथ द्वितीयवर्णकम्। Now we begin the second chapter of Laghuvasudeva Mannanam. So, the author gives us an introduction to what is going to be seen, taught or discussed in the second chapter. He says, अथ द्वितीय वर्णके अनुबंध चतुष्टयम उच्यते. In this second chapter, we are going to discuss the topic of Anubandha Chatushtaya. What is the word? Anubandha Chatushtaya. Anubandha Chatushtaya is one word. Anubandha Chatushtaya. Shashti Tatpurush Samas. Anubandhasya Chatushtayam. What is Chatushtaya means? Four things together. How do you say that? Like pentad, hexad, quadra, quadra. So it's a quadra. So Chatushtaya. Fourfold. What a fourfold? What fourfold? So, the word Anubandha is a very interesting word. Anubandha means Prekshavata Pravritti Karanam. ग्रंथाध्यायन प्रवृत्ति प्रयोजक ज्ञान विषयत्वम अनुबंधत्वम. What are those factors which will propel a person to undertake a detailed study of a book. Why should one examine a book? Look at it, read the book. Oh, because I'm interested. And that is fine. You might be interested. But what is it that is even generating your interest? What will you gain from it? What will you gain from? So now we have to look at those factors which are going to propel a person in reading or studying a book. These factors are 4 in number, and therefore we have Chatushtaya. So Anubandha is that knowledge of those things which propel a person to undertake this study. Okay, this is Anubandha. And because it is fourfold, we call it Chatushtaya. Okay, Anubandha Chatushtaya. So if anybody asks, what is Anubandha? You know. What is Anubandha Chatushtaya? Now you do not know. You know what is Anubandha, but you don't know what are those 4 things. So here we go. Vishayaha Prayojanam Sambandhaha Adhikari cha iti Anubandha Chatushtayam. Vishayaha. The subject matter. The subject matter. Prayojanam, the purpose. What is your purpose? Is your purpose going to be met through the study of this topic? Through the study of this subject? Now you know. So we have to spell out what is the subject matter, what is the purpose that will be met by these studies. And if that happens to be your purpose, then yes, you are a person who should be studying this particular work. So, Vishayaha Prayojanam. First is Vishaya, the second one is Prayojanam. The third one is Sambandha. Sambandha we will deal later. And the fourth one is Adhikari. Adhikari means a qualified seeker, student. That yes, it may be your purpose, but do you have the necessary capacity to understand that subject matter? Isn't it? Do you have that necessary capacity, the qualification to understand that subject matter? Say suppose you find that this is my purpose, but I don't have the qualification. Obviously, you may read the book because you know the language, but will the purpose be met? No. Then what is required? To develop the qualifications. But say suppose if there is a qualified person who has the purpose and he undertakes this study, then everything fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. The picture is complete. Okay? So there is adhikari. Adhikari is a qualified person. Student over here. Adhikari. Then sambandha. What is the relationship? What is the connection? Sambandha means a relationship, a connection between the subject matter and the purpose. What is the relationship between the person who undertakes the studies and the subject matter? What is there are various connections, and when those connections, you are able to join those dots, then all the 4 points are there. The fourfold things are there. Chatushtaya is available. Which Chatushtaya is this? Anubandha. Okay. So, what all things in Anubandha are covered? Can you think of a fifth factor? Can you think of a fifth factor? So we can make Anubandha Panchakam.
Teacher.
The author has written the book.
Guru Kripa, after Shastra Kripa.
Hey, in order to undertake these studies, you require the four things. And beyond these 4, we are not able to see any fifth. And therefore, it remains as Chatushtaya, always. So, what all things? Vishaya, Prayojanam, Sambandha, Adhikari, Iti Anubandha Chatushtayam. Okay? Further. So, and every book of any subject matter, these 4 things are only going to be there. Any book. So then there is this book of Vedanta. So now we have to spell out what is the Anubandha Chatushtaya of Vedanta. Here. Asya Vedanta Shastrasya Brahma eva Vishayaha. What is the Vishaya? What is the topic? Eva. This is really nice. Brahma eva. Eva means only. What are you going to learn about? What is being discussed over here in this book? Brahma alone. What is Paramatma? Just that. What is the Brahma means? Paramasatyam. The ultimate reality. This is what we want to discuss. Nothing intermediary. No apparent reality. No transactional reality. What is there is only Brahma eva. And this fellow says, in book of Vedanta, then they should also teach us time management, office management. Why do you require book of Vedanta for that? Get office management. Then you, according to your thing, then everything should come. Even marine biology also should come by your demand. Brahma eva. What is the topic? Brahma eva. Do you want to know about Brahman? So now, if you are somebody who is interested in wanting to know what Brahma is, then this book is of use to you. But if you want to know something else, this book is of no use. How should I be nice to my wife and my neighbor? Because he is bad with both. Why should we teach you that? She is your wife, you deal. No, Swamiji, you should tell us that also. Look here, I am Swamiji. I don't deal with this topic of wife. Otherwise, why will I be a sannyasi? No. Brahma eva vishayaha. Okay? Now next. Moksha eva prayojanam. What is the purpose? Eva. Again that word eva has come. Eva means alone. Oh Swamiji, we thought that something else also is going to be there. This is everywhere that Eva is sitting. Are you going to teach only Eva? The topic is also Eva. Prayojanam is also Eva. And then finally you come out. What did you learn? Eva. Prayojanam. What is the prayojanam? Means purpose. What purpose? What do you want? What do you want? And then what is wanted, what is sought is only four things, really speaking. There is nothing else. Dharma, artha, kama or moksha. Now, there is a person who seeks artha. When he is seeking artha, means wealth, security, he can simultaneously have a demand for pleasure. Correct? He can have a simultaneously, both of these are, you are able to entertain. I want money and I also want to get married soon. Anything wrong? No. They can go together, they're compatible. They can go together. And also dharma. These things can go together. But when you say, I want moksha, it means somewhere you have really appreciated the futility of all the three. The one who wants to follow dharma has already understood in his scheme of action there is no place for adharma, for unrighteousness. Already gone. There is no question about it. Okay? And therefore, the one who goes for moksha understands the futility of all the three and says, I want only moksha. And therefore, moksha is exclusive. Moksha is exclusive. I want liberation. I want liberation. So thus, moksha eva prayojanam. Okay? Then, what is sambandha? Pratipadya pratipadaka bhavaha. What is the knowledge about? Brahma. The knowledge is about Brahma. So now this book and its content are pratipadaka. What do they show? What do they show? What is Brahma? So Brahma is pratipadya, that what is shown, and these are the pointers which will show, indicators which will show Brahma. Okay. So pratipadya pratipadaka bhava sambandha. One. Bodhya bodhaka bhava sambandha also. What will you understand? At the end? Oh, at the end we understood that finally, we are very tired. No. What is finally understood? Brahma. And so, this book is the one through which Brahma will be known, and therefore Bodhya. That what is known, and Bodhaka, through which it is known. So Bodhya Bodhaka Bhava Sambandha. Now, who is the Adhikari? Who is a qualified person? How do you know that your entire effort of this study is going to be very fruitful? And when will you call it as fruitful? When the prayojanam, when that purpose will be accomplished. Okay? So when that purpose is accomplished, you know that the effort that you have put have become fruitful. Now, in order for the efforts to become fruitful, not get aborted halfway, go waste, there is one thing. You should know whether the person who is putting the efforts has got certain qualifications that are necessary or not. And therefore now we need to know the qualifications of the student over here. Now this student is not a student of chemistry, biology, etc. But Swamiji, this is not fair. Everybody should get admission. And who's stopping people from coming and attending? But people don't want. That means they themselves are declaring, we are not adhikari. And if you are going to say that we should not have any such things because this is discrimination. What discrimination? Even in a university, when you want to take admission for certain courses, don't they ask you that how much have you scored in those particular subjects that are necessary? Basic knowledge is required. You want to go for medicine, engineering, or some other course, you are going to be asked, have you done that or not? Is that called discrimination? Oh, you are discriminating the other students who have not scored, they should also be admitted. Something like that? No. Because those people who are going to put in effort, those efforts should become fruitful. And for their efforts to become fruitful, the qualifications have to be spelled out. So here are the qualifications. So we say, sadhana chatushtaya sampanno adhikari. Who is the adhikari? The one who is endowed with fourfold qualifications. And how is he endowed? Sampannaha. Sampanna means the one who has them abundantly, not sparingly, not sparsely. How? Abundantly. Sampannaha. In loka, in this, what do they call it? Worldly matters, whom do you call a wealthy person? Don't say the one who has money, because everybody has money. Everybody has money. At least 5 rupees he has in his pocket. So he has money. You cannot say he does not have money. But by that having 5 rupees, it does not make him wealthy. So when you want to say a wealthy person, you cannot say the one who has money. The one who has abundance of money. Which means even if he spends, it's not going to be easily exhausted. It is not going to be easily exhausted. It's not going to finish. He's not going to become empty. Okay? He doesn't have to then worry, the end of the month, how will I make my ends meet? Vipula. Surplus. So now we are going to look at a person who is qualified, who has these things, whatever are the qualities, they are in abundance. Such a person is going to be adhikari. Sampannaha. What is the word used? Sadhana Chatushtaya Van Adhikari. It is just not said the one who has Sadhana Chatushtaya. Because Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha. How is he? Not just one. How is he? Sampannaha. Vana means the one who has. Oh, has is no meaning. Has in abundance. And now you will see why even that sampanna is also important. We will see. And what things should be there? 4 things. And therefore, because it is again fourfold, quadra, it will be chatushtaya. Okay? Again it will be. What was the earlier chatushtaya? Anubandha chatushtaya. Which chatushtaya are you going to see now? Sadhana chatushtaya. The fourfold, not just qualifications, sadhanam. Sadhanas means, okay, here we go. Yatha Brihaspati Savane Brahmanaha eva Rajasuye Kshatriye eva Tatha Vedanta Shastre Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna eva Adhikari. Okay. Now, before you go into this Vedic thing, just understand that the people who are qualified means that those people whose efforts will be meaningful. Okay. Now, in all the countries before, especially in the royal families, they had this a little system, because the royal, the kings and of different places, they had to have their alliances. And the best way to build a political alliance was by getting 2 people married. So now a boy was born in one family, girl was born in another family, both of them are just 3 years old. And they will say next year we will get them married. Now, does the marriage of a 4-year and 5-year and 6-year, do they even understand the meaning of marriage? Getting married. That marriage had no meaning for these 2 people. It may have the meaning for both the kingdoms. Because now they are not going to fight with each other. It may be meaningful for them. It is a political alliance. But does it have any meaning for these two people? When he is a man, when she becomes aware I am a woman, and when both of them are of the reproductive age, then that has got some meaning. Adhikari. So, there are certain Vedic rituals, like the Brahmana, Brihaspati Sava. In that Brihaspati Sava, it is said only the class of Brahmins should do it. Why should they do it? Others can't do it. All that is there is to put some oblations in the fire. Anybody can do. Putting oblations in the fire is not called as yajna. Offering those oblations in the fire by the qualified person through the qualified priest by chanting the qualified mantras, then it becomes a proper yajna. Otherwise, what is all that? It is only burning some rice. Burning rice is called as yajna. It is only creating carbon dioxide. That is not called as yajna. It will become a fire ritual when it has got all these factors. Correct? So you require yatha Brihaspati Savane Brahmanaha Rajasuya. So now somebody says, I am a Brahmin, I can do anything. You cannot do Rajasuya Yajna. In order to do that particular yajna, it is required a person should be Kshatriya. He should be a king. He should have sufficient resources. Then you do Rajasuya Yajna. In that, now by doing that Rajasuya Yajna, you declare that all the other kingdoms around are subordinate to us. And before you do that, you have to actually go around. Either take our shelter, accept our dominance, or be prepared for a battle. Be prepared for the battle. So he goes about. So this Brahmin, I am a Brahmin, can you do Rajasuya? No, a Kshatriya can do. And so now, like that, Tatha Vedanta Shastre, in the Vedanta Shastra, who is Adhikari? The Adhikari is not now about whether he is Indian, non-Indian or anything. Sadhana Chatushchaya. He should have these fourfold qualifications. What are those fourfold qualifications? We are going to see. So, without these fourfold qualifications, it will become useless. Therefore, Nitya Nityavastu Vivekaha. One, he requires discrimination. The ability to distinguish the intelligence which is able to see distinctly. What do you want to see distinctly? That which is limited by time and that what is not limited by time. Nitya means not bound, not conditioned by time, that what is timeless. And anitya means time bound. So when he has the distinction to see what is bound by time, what is not bound by time. Otherwise, the whole life will be spent only in a foolish thing to make that what is time bound as timeless. I can make a chair out of this wood. Correct? I can make a chair out of this wood. But I cannot make an aeroplane out of it. Why? Different material, different thing. So that what is essentially time bound, how can it be made timeless? How can it be made timeless? And that is what we spent our time in. Things are time bound. What do you want them to be? Last forever. Your interest in people? Time bound. But then what do you end up saying? I will love you till the end of time. So when the love ends, they say the time has ended. Means the time to love has ended. Now let us fight. Time bound. So that's why very important we understand the one who is able to see things clearly. What is nitya? What is anitya? What is timeless and what is time bound? See it clearly means distinguish it. This ability to distinguish, discriminate is called as viveka. So a person requires, the first qualification is viveka. What kind of viveka? Nitya nitya viveka. Okay? Now, second one, ihamutra phalabhoga viragaha. Then, this iha and amutra. What do you experience? Please just don't say that we experience world. You don't experience everything of the world. You experience only those things which are brought to you by your karma. Good or bad. Karma brings those objects, people, things to you. And karma means not the present action. You have always been doing. Karma, it comes as the fruit. It is bringing you all these things. So whatever is being experienced by you is a result of the karma. It is phalam. What is it? Phalam. Whether you experience it here in this life, in this world, or you experience it where? Somewhere in the heaven. Everything comes to you as the phalam. Okay? Phalam. And what do you desire to experience? You desire to experience not dukkham. You desire to experience sukham. Iha. Whether that sukham that you are desiring belongs to this world or the other world, irrespective. And that sukham is also essentially seen by the person as phalam. It is seen as what? Not fluke, chance, but it is definite. It is the phalam, it is the result of right karma. Okay? Phalabhoga viragaha. What does he not want? Viraga means dispassion. He is not interested. Not interested any longer in collecting experiences of objects to deliver happiness, whether here or other world. Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha. So how many words are sitting in that one compound? Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha. Panch? There are 5. So every word should be clear. Iha means here. What does here means? In this life, this world. Amutra, there. Where there? There means where? Hereafter, whatever that is, Amutra, Swarga, etc. The other world. The other world. This world and the other world. Iha, Amutra, Phala. Phala means result. Bhoga, experience of the results. Results of what? Karma. Viragaha, dispassion. This is called as Ihamutra Phalabhoga Viragaha. This is required. Vairagyam. Okay. Viragasya bhavaha vairagyam. Then Shamadhi Shatakam, the third thing which is mentioned is Shama. Now you remember Shama, Dama, etc. 6-fold wealth. It's an hexad. Now this will be hexad. 6-fold. Hexad. Shamadhi Shatakam. Beginning with Shama. Adi means etc. Shama, etc. Now what is there in that etc. is also interesting, because that etc. is going to be a Pandora's box. A lot of things can come out of it, including Taj Mahal. Yeah? Shamadhi Shatakam. What we will go through that. What all things will come into this 6-fold. It's a package. This is required. And mumukshutvam. So there are 5 more things. So beginning with Shama, then what all things will follow? 5 more things have to come. Because it is Shatakam, and only one name is mentioned, beginning with Shama. So, beginning with Shama. So there is some other Abhishek Chaitanya also speaking somewhere. Ihalok, this is only one. This must be from Amutra Lok, from the other world. So now, mumukshutvam. What is mumukshutvam? Mumukshu is the one who is a person who is desirous of liberation. Okay. Mumukshu means a person who is desirous of liberation. What is called as desire for liberation? Mumuksha. What is the word? Mumuksha is the desire. And so the one who has a desire, the desirer, is mumukshu. But what does he desire? So the one who desires moksha is the one mumukshu. Okay. Now what quality does this mumukshu have which makes him a mumukshu? What quality should this person have? The mumukshu-ness. If he does not have mumukshu-ness, how can he become a mumukshu? Right? And therefore mumukshutvam, that ness is mumukshutvam. Okay? Gotvam and go. Cow and cowness. Correct? Animal, what is a cow? The animal which has cowness is cow. Otherwise, what will you say? What is a cow? What is a cow? You cannot keep on saying cow is not a buffalo, cow is not a sparrow, cow is not a bedbug, cow. What is cow? It is an animal. Just animal? So bring a camel. Is this cow? Or we call it cow. Hey, what is cow? That which has the property of cowness. Cowness is what? Gotvam. Like, who is a mumukshu? The one who has mumukshu-ness. Mumukshutvam. So this mumukshutvam, these are the fourfold qualifications. Okay? Now, let's go further. This is just enumerating. We have not elaborated. It is only enumerating. What all things have you seen now? Anubandha chatushtaya. Okay. After, in that Anubandha chatushtaya, there is adhikari. Who is the adhikari? The one who has sadhana chatushtaya. Sampanna. He is in abundance. Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. What is that sadhana chatushtaya? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shatak Sampatti, and then Mumukshutvam. What is it?
Mumukshutvam.
Mumukshutvam. It should come like a twang of the bow. There is a very nice description in the Puranas. So now there are these armies of demons coming from everywhere. So Devi is standing all alone. She is just alone. And she is being surrounded by this army of who wants to destroy her. And when she sees that all these mighty boys are throwing things at her, all that she does is, with the twang of the bow, she fills the firmament. That sound itself of a string which goes twang, it makes them all quiet. All these boys. She doesn't have to. Dhanurja Simhakhantanam. Let's try. It should be, which means clean, clear. Now, Brahma eva nityam, Jagad anityam. Now, when we said there is Nitya Anitya Viveka, what is time bound? Now, if the question is what is time bound, then the answer is Anitya. What is Anitya? Time bound. This will become circular. What is a circle? That what is round. What is round? That what is circle. Replacement of words don't help. And what is time bound? Jagad Anityam. The world is Anityam. Everything over here. What is it that is not time bound? You tell. Even the planet Earth. Everything is time bound. When is it going to finish is not the question, but bound by time, definitely. Jagad Anityam. And anything that is bound by time, which means it is limited. And that which is limited, that which is small, that what is finite, then is dukkham. Is dukkham. We are not saying that from it comes dukkham. That is dukkham only. Yadvai alpam, yad alpam tad nahi. What is the Shruti? Tat sukham, yadvai alpam tad dukkham. Dukkham is limitedness. Dukkham is limitedness. Yeah. So that what is limited by time, obviously limited, it is dukkham. Now sir, what is it that is not limited by time? Do you know that? Do you know what is not limited by time? Everything that is presently in the sphere of your experience, everything is time bound. Whatever is known, seen, understood, everything is time bound. Do you have anything which is not time bound? What? Where is it? Where? Where is it? Very good. Don't tell me like some Prahlad. Brahma is everywhere. Show me where Brahma is not. Brahma eva nityam. So now, because this person has heard the statement of Upanishad somewhere that Brahma is not limited by time. He only has this much knowledge. He does not know what Brahma means. He does not know what is Brahma. But he just knows this much, that Brahma is that which is not limited by time. But he definitely knows this world in any form is time bound. That much he knows. Now this person has to sit a little bit, and he is, of course, someone who is intensely looking at all experiences, everything. Now this fellow is not a very frivolous fellow. He is not frivolous. There is depth to his thinking. There is some depth to everything that he experiences. Experiences everybody has. There is no dearth of experiences. Everybody is experiencing. You are experiencing the same world as I am experiencing. Therefore, I cannot claim that I have special experiences from you and that's why I am better. We all have the same experience. But what is there with this person, Viveki, is that he looks at there is a depth to the thinking that is generated by every experience. And that's why this fellow is not shallow. He is not frivolous. He is just not floating on the surface of life. Even if there is something unpleasant that happens to him, that makes him more contemplative. That makes him more contemplative. That is why the unpleasant experience that he has does not become a curse to him. That unpleasant experience also paves his way to reach, to access some depth. And that's why for such a person, now he does not remain on the surface only asking for pleasant experiences, whichever experience is going to come now. He is ready. It's okay. And he moves. So nitya, anitya vivekaha, brahma eva nityam, jagad anityam. How did he know this? Jagad anityam everybody can know. But brahma eva nityam, how did he know? So here it says, Shruti Smruti Puranadina Swayameva Jayamanam Jnanam Nityanitya Vastu Vivekaha. Because this person has been listening to the statements of Veda, Shruti, of the Smritis, as related by some sages, saints, scholars, Purana, this is another spiritual literature called as Puranas. He has been listening to all this. And that is how, by listening to all these things, he has now known one thing, that yes, the world, I know the world is anitya through pratyaksha, through the direct experiences, direct knowledge. Also by inference I know the world is anitya, he is saying. But there is something which is nitya. For all the changes to take place, the changeless substratum is required. It is only against the changeless substratum the changes are seen. You remember I told river is pravaha. Pravaha means flow. It is constant change is called as pravaha. It is flowing. It is a constant change. This constant change, the river is flowing because there is a steady bed supporting the flow. If the bed also started moving with the flow, where will the river flow? Where will the river flow? It was all gone, nowhere. And therefore, the changeless substratum is required for all the changes to take place. Okay? In my experience, friendships change into enmity, enemies change into friends, youth changes into old, old changes into death. Strength changes into weakness, health changes into disease, diseases change into health, loyalties change into disloyalties. Everything is changing. But for all the changes to take place, we require that what is changeless. That what is changeless means that which is not contaminated, polluted by time. That what is timeless. And so, now he knows from the Shruti Smriti, Purana Vachanas, that Brahma eva nityam. Whatever that changeless, timeless Vastu is Brahma. This much knowledge he has. He does not have it in detail. He does not know it in all the details properly. But there is. And this much also is good enough for his movement to take place. So nitya, anitya vastu vivekaha. This discrimination he definitely has. Apata bodha evam. Apata bodha. Apata means superficial. Though this is superficial, knowledge about Brahman is okay. But don't have superficial knowledge about the world, because that is what you are directly experiencing now and then, and ever since you are born, or even before you were born. And in spite of experiencing the world for last 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 lives, yet one is not able to understand this is the nature of the world. Now who? Even if Brihaspati comes and stands, you will not understand. Why? Because you have refused to understand it from your own experiences. Who is going to now enlighten you about this? And therefore, what is anitya? You come to the conclusion. What is nitya? We will show. But do you have that? Are you conclusive about what is anitya? Find that. This is viveka. The word viveka means discrimination. Vichar prithak karane. This is the verbal root. What is the verbal root, Pandit Vimal Lochan? Vichar prithak karane. Prithak karane means to segregate, to separate. Swayameva jayamanam jnanam. What is actually viveka? It is knowledge. It is what? Knowledge. So there are two things. Knowledge which you have to have yourself, and knowledge which the Shastra will give you. Okay? Now, over there in that book, there are two words. Shruti Smruti Purana Dina Swayameva. Actually, in my opinion, we should have one cha in between. Shruti Smruti Purana Dina cha Swayameva Jayamanam Jnanam. Knowledge which is born from the scriptures and by yourself. That what you have to have by yourself, you should have. That what the scriptures will give you, they will give you. So the world is anityam. This is a knowledge which scriptures and the teacher doesn't need to give you. If I am also going to tell you, look at this, the world is all anityam. Big deal. Why do you require teacher for this? That is a conclusion you should come to by yourself. That is a conclusion that you should arrive at by yourself. Swayameva jayamanam. And what is the other part of the coin, side of the coin? Brahmaeva nityam. This knowledge is what comes to you from Shruti Smriti Purana, from the mouth of the teacher. Okay? This is Viveka. Okay? Alright? So rest of it we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha.